A Star is Born. Reviewed by me.
Yes, it was.
No.
Oh.
By me and no.
So, A Star is Born. Starring and directed by Bradley Cooper. Co-starring Lady Gaga and Sam Elliott. And there's some other comedians in there too.
Yeah, there's Dave Chappelle.
Andrew Dice Clay. So, A Star is Born is a movie that's been remade like 4 times now. The first one being in I think like 1930 something or 1940s. This time around, it's Bradley Cooper making his directorial debut on this movie.
A fantastic job.
Yes, he did. Star is Born is great. This movie's awesome. This is probably one of my favorite movies of the year, just coming out.
Yeah.
And saying it, I think other than like Avengers. Those
are probably the top 2.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like, and they're totally different movies, but I mean, just out of ones I
love how all the shots were really up close. It felt really personal the whole time. Every time they turn and look directly into the camera, it's like, oh, you feel it.
Yeah.
Like you know that moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Bradley Cooper is singing in this movie, and he sings a lot. Yeah. And he sings alongside Lady Gaga, who is acting, and she's acting her ass off in this movie. Like, she is like, if you just watched this movie and you didn't know anything about either of these two people, I would have thought that these two are equally like as good like actors.
Talented.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, she's an actress, like he's an actor, they've been doing this all their lives. Yeah. He's also been singing all his life and everything. It just seems so natural. And I give props to both of them. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga did amazing.
Yeah, they both crushed it.
Halfway through the movie, I totally forgot that it's Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Like, those names kind of just disappear.
And he really takes on a different character. He doesn't talk like that. No. He stole Sam Elliott's voice.
Yeah.
Literally, like,
they
for
even,
this,
like, not make a joke in the movie, but it is a thing
something
in the
that's talked about.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely stole Sam Elliott's voice, because Bradley Cooper doesn't sound like that.
No.
But, I mean, it just goes to show what an amazing job he did.
Exactly.
Changing himself between a chameleon of an actor and just,
And just to Lady Gaga's credit of her completely just losing herself in this role, like, sometimes when singers are in movies, you can clearly tell, like, it's that singer. It's the singer who's in the movie, and it's like, they know that they're a singer, a big, famous singer that's in a movie, and it just kind of shows. But in this movie, she totally just... She got rid of that entire like persona of Lady Gaga. She was just like this character.
She was just this girl who waits tables or whatever and sings at local bars, in her spare time. And takes care of her dad and all his boys.
And Bradley Cooper doesn't treat her like I think he does treat her like, like the star singer that she is, but I don't think that he treated her any different in the way or the scenes that he made her do as like any other actress. What is this movie about? This movie is about Bradley Cooper's character being a really famous singer. I think I'd compare him to like Willie Nelson or something. Because I guess they have kind of the same sort of like music style.
The best way to describe it is he's a country music star who
like rock
is
country.
Lonely, sad. He has the fame and the money. And things that people, all wish for. Yeah. But he's still not happy. And he doesn't have real friends or anything like that around him. Most of the people are yes men around him, just kind of like, whatever you want, blah, 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 except his brother. And then he kind of even pushes his brother away. Yeah. And so he really doesn't have anybody. He's a very alone star.
And he does suffer with alcoholism. And I think they portray that really well in this movie. You don't feel like it's being disrespectful at all to people who deal with this. It totally seems real. I think Bradley Cooper pulled that part off really well, and just how somebody living with that much money and fame would deal with something like this and trying to live through his life. He's kind of at the end of his rope here. I mean, he's like. But yeah. So he's going through this time in his life where his fame's not really dying down, but he's kind of just like, he's losing his mojo here. And he comes across Lady Gaga's character, Ali. and she's singing in this drag bar, and he's just taken by her because you know who wouldn't, like with her voice and everything. And then so it's a story about her like rising to fame because she's a nobody and he's a somebody, and then his kind of fall from fame a little bit, and then just the relationship.
It's a boy meets girl.
It's such a classic story, especially because this is a remake pretty much of a bunch of other movies.
It's been remade a bunch of times,
Yeah.
but it just goes to show you how well something. You don't have to get. I don't know how to say. You don't know how to get you don't have to get crazy with building a huge world or anything like that. It can be very small, focused on just you have a man and a woman, and then the couple people in their lives who pretty much the people in their lives also there's tension and conflict, but it doesn't have to be like super serious. Like the relationship she has with her dad, like there's banter back and forth, but it's enough conflict at least to keep things interesting. And then Bradley Cooper, of course, with people that surround him, there's conflict there, but it's a really small, compact story. And it doesn't have a huge cast, but it's done so well and it's so intimate, and like I said, all the up close shots that are just in their face. The directing's really good. I would think that this is done by a professional director who's been doing this all his life. If I just didn't know who directed it. I think also the supporting cast, like we mentioned, Sam Elliott, Andrew Dice Clay, even Dave Chappelle, they all do really great in this movie. Like it's easy to forget, or not forget, but it's easy to kind of push them aside when you're dealing with the two main stars that are so good, and you kind of forget how well they do. But like if they sucked, then that would it would have
show.
Nobody to play off of.
Exactly. But they do so good, and I think Sam Elliott will probably get an Oscar nomination, and he's not even in it that much. I mean, he's in it enough, but some of the scenes he's in is just
it's great.
Really powerful.
Every time he's on screen, it's fucking great. And it's turned up to 10 fucking.
And I think I will go as far to say is this is the best, the best I've seen Bradley Cooper act. I think this is his best performance all around. I mean, like stuff like The Hangover, like he's good in.
Well, no, I mean, that's a comedy though. But I mean, something like American Sniper, I thought he was great in.
I thought he
took on a totally different persona, and so. But I won't say it's like definitely his greatest. It's definitely up there. Maybe tied. And just to touch on some things that I don't really think a lot of people have been talking about in this movie. I mean, maybe they haven't seen it as many times as I have. I've seen this movie 3 times already, which is probably why the review isn't out, because we haven't had time to film, because I've been seeing the movie again every day.
every day of my life. Seen it in like 3 different theaters. One of them is really go and see this movie in whatever theater, Dolby, whatever theater has the best sound near you. If it happens, if you have like a Dolby theater, go see it in that, because the sound in this movie is great. I think it's part of it. Don't wait until this comes out on DVD, because I think you'll be doing yourself a disservice, and you wouldn't be seeing this movie how Bradley Cooper wants you to see this movie.
That's like, we're lucky. I can't talk today. We're lucky enough to have an AMC IMAX theater close by, and in that they have which is what is called a Dolby theater, and in there the sound was so loud and powerful, like it shakes your chest. Like you're sitting there, and the opening scene, when it starts, the crowd starts roaring, and it's so loud that you kind of flinch and like jump back, like, oh wow, and then he strums the guitar, and it's like boom, you can feel it vibrating in your body, and it's just so loud and intense. If you have something like that near you, definitely do it. Don't miss this. You know what I mean?
Pay the extra. It's like, I think it's like $20 to see this and that.
Like $18.
It's like $18, but go see it in something like that, because the sound is incredible. Most of the songs, like, they perform full songs in this. Like, the soundtrack came out, and a lot of them are like 3-4 minute songs. They perform the full songs like for a lot of these on here.
If you're in a good enough theater, it's gonna feel like you're right there in
like
the
a concert.
Exactly.
And I'm so taken away, and especially Lady Gaga's already a performer. She's already a singer, and
she's
so
an outstanding performer.
So it seems like a gift, or like something you get to experience.
And it's funny because you wouldn't think that a love story would be something like, oh, I need the big theater for this, or I need the the big speakers for this. But no, you totally do. So don't skip it.
Don't be one of those people who are like, oh, it'll be a cool movie to kick back on the TV and lay down, maybe fall asleep. No. Go pay attention. See this in a big, huge sound. But some of the things I wanted to mention that Bradley Cooper, I think intentionally didn't focus on in this movie, which I thought was a good choice, was like the money. Usually stories like this, where somebody is super famous and then somebody's rising to fame, one of the big reasons that person is rising to fame is because they don't have any money. And it shows that like they're so hard on money, everything sucks. And now they can buy whatever they want. Like it's time to go shopping and live this luxurious life. Yeah. But this movie doesn't focus on that really at all.
And I thought it was a good choice because can you imagine having a scene where Lady Gaga goes and like just goes on a shopping spree or something ridiculous? Like, you'd be like, okay, like you'd like her a little bit less. Yeah. So it just shows the really human aspect. Yeah. The part that we can all really relate to, and the house gets a little nicer. Yeah. She doesn't have to live with her dad and hella other men.
Well, she just she just lives in a place that's, you could clearly see that has more money. Yeah. But they don't ever like.
They don't talk about it
or talk about it.
It's not important to the story.
Yeah, they don't even mention it. Like they don't say, "Oh my God, have you seen your bank account?" Or like you just got a deal for this much money on this record. It's like no, because that's not really what she's worried about, and so that's not what we're worried about. We don't have to care.
It totally focuses on the music and the making of music.
Yeah, and the industry has a good like commentary on, I think, like pop or culture these days.
The manager in the movie, he definitely takes on a certain character that you could totally see as being real for sure.
And I think some of the ways that Bradley Cooper's character Jackson Maine reacts to some of the things that happens in her life, I think were really smart and a little different than other movies. Some things that maybe early on in the movie that most guys in movies would freak out about and already be a fight wasn't a fight in this movie, which I noticed that instantly when I first watched it. There's something with her manager and he doesn't get mad about it. There's like a funny joke that has to do with like a donut or something. But I think it's nice that he doesn't really focus on the things that a lot of movies I think focus on, and he really just like dives into the music and this relationship that they're in. And I think just some of the little character traits that he has, they are interesting to see. It's like how much of a people pleaser he is to everybody except for like his brother or people that he like cares about. But
it seems like he genuinely tries.
Yeah,
a lot of people. But okay, let's see what else.
One thing I also want to compliment the movie for is I've seen it, like I said, 3 times now, and I still haven't come across a moment like a skip moment. Even Avengers has those where I rewatch Avengers and I have it at home on Blu-ray, and there's moments where I'm like, okay, skip, like I've seen this, I don't need to see this part, I want to get on to the next part. But I think this movie doesn't really have any of those.
At least that's what part of what makes it such a great film is that every scene has a purpose. Every scene is filled with some kind of traumatic tension or conflict, or there's something. There's forces going against something. There's subtext. There's different levels to what's going on. Like even without spoiling anything, there's a certain situation that the character doesn't even really fight with anybody, but he walks into a situation and you're like, you feel for him. Yeah. He acts a certain way, but because of what's happening on the outside, there's that other layer where you're kind of like, oh man, that it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And I think, and since this is a drama and a good one, I think you definitely should be in the right place in your life to go and see this movie. I don't know, maybe if you.
Yeah, I don't think this isn't like, let me get my friends together, get some drinks and go see it. No, this is more of an intimate, you take your significant other, or you go, with maybe one other person, or it's not like a fun movie.
Yeah, but it's a movie that you'll have a really good time watching. Yeah. Like, I smiled in this movie, like, uncontrollably the first time I saw it. Like, some of the performances that they were doing. Yeah. And, like, I was just like, I mean, this is great to, like, watch.
They do such a great job of making you root for the characters. Yeah. Like, you want them to succeed. You want them to come together. And it's like, man, just
even when they're not, like, being, like, the best kind of people, or when they're doing things that aren't, like, that you shouldn't really root for, but you're still, like, I mean, you're just such a likable...
It's not a... I don't want to say, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not a good relationship.
Well, yeah,
but it has its problems.
Yeah, it has its problems like any other relationship.
I wouldn't say like any other relationship,
well,
but
not every relationship's a pop star, or
Yeah.
pop star, rock
Yeah.
star kind of thing. But
I mean, even the things they deal with,
yeah,
you know. But through all of the bad things, you still are rooting for these people.
yeah.
So I think, again, it does a great job in that.
So to wrap it up, I thought A Star Is Born is great. One of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie of the year so far. I'm looking forward to seeing what Oscar recognition it gets, because I can kind of see that's where Bradley Cooper is kind of going for
It
with
better.
this.
It really should.
Yeah, it really should. You never know with the Oscars, but if they were gonna be true to film this year, I think this is a great contender. That was great.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
conclusion?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree that this is probably one of the best movies of the year. I'd be shocked if it doesn't get Oscar nominations.
Yeah. I went and bought a hat.
He's bought a fucking brown hat.
It wasn't even this one. I ordered another one that's coming in just to try to have a similar hat to his. It was a good
terrible.
hat.
But
Alright.
I'd have to rate this a 6 out of 6. I mean, it crushed it. It's a love story. I mean, man, yeah, it was great.
Yeah. I think I would also have to give it a 6 out of 6, and I think my only gripe with this movie is that I still, after 3 times of watching it, I haven't found anything I didn't like yet. So, I was like, which is why it has to get a 6 out of 6. You know, it's incredible.
I'll have to buy the Blu-ray and just sit there and nitpick at it.
Yeah, I'm sure if I tried really hard, I could find something that I don't like, but that's a good thing.
But yeah,
I'd have to
you
try.
have to really try.
Yeah.
You know, to figure out something else. But let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
If you loved it, or if you found something wrong with it.
Yeah. Maybe you hated it. And I want to know from you.
I want to know.
I want to know.
Life like.
Yeah, what's going on in your life that this really just sucks for you?
But
Let us know regardless.
All right.